Is this how you go to work?
Oh, no.
He set the single-season touchdown record.
That ain't how you go to work.
Hey, you need a life, a lift, and a life. Call a priest. Is this how you go to work?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's
They're
what
brothers, but they brothers.
Priest Holmes has it, and he is in for the touchdown. Lewis is going. Nobody's going to catch him. Priest Holmes runs in for the touchdown.
And Lewis is gone.
Touchdown, Kansas City.
Go.
Strong eye vision, I'll interfere your sight. Build blocks on your map and play the pipe. Perched on rooftops, I'm the bird man. Singing that song of freedom.
A single-game NFL rushing record.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS.
Baltimore used to be home of Johnny U and the Colts. Now it's home of Ray Lou and the Ravens. Monday Night Countdown about to kick it live. You know, we like the crowds, but we also love it right here at our new home, basically because every man likes a new home when we get new toys to play with, like flat screen, plasma TVs all over the place. We love our new digs. Respect our souped-up station wagon. Ran out of gas, so they towed us back here to Bristol. Our 3-week road trip is over. We back home now in the home front. Stuart, Tom, Michael, Jaws, guys, we here, we home.
We home. I love it.
Who cooked?
Who knows?
We in the cafeteria. All right, we'll eat out. Hey, we got a couple of playoff teams from last year, Chiefs and Ravens, but somebody, Michael, needs this one like a pig needs slop.
Right, let me tell you about this NFL now. 13 teams last year lost 10 or more games, right? Only 3 of those teams this year have losing records. Now, as those 10 teams move up, Jones, some teams have to move down. Like your Kansas City Chiefs, they are down, Jones.
We're just starting. You're picking on me already. Hey, but I'm not bailing out. I still have the Kansas City Chiefs blueprint. I know the chance is only like 3.3% chance of them making the playoffs after this 0-3 start, but I'm not bailing yet, Tommy.
You're not bailing yet, but if they lose tonight, you better bail next week because that 3.3% will go down to about 0.003%. Right. So we have our first must-win game on Monday night. Week 4, you must win. Kansas City, you must win.
Hey, Kansas City, they can equal last year's record. They can do that easily.
Oh, you talking about...
In the reverse. No. All they got to do is win the last 13 games of the season.
There you go. Hey,
and they finish, they'd be equal next year's record. Now, granted, Kansas City has a much simpler task on their hands than making the playoffs. How about just win one? But let's play dumb here. Or let's not play dumb. Since the merger, 1970, only 5 teams have made the playoffs after starting 0-3 like Kansas City is, and only one, the 1992 Chargers, made the postseason after starting the 0-4 Kansas City will be if they lose tonight. Sal Palantonio, how will they do it?
Stu, first let me give you the latest on Jamal Lewis, the Ravens running back, will appear in a federal courthouse in Atlanta at 4 p.m. on Thursday to enter into a plea agreement with federal prosecutors in an ongoing drug case. What Lewis will tell the judge is that he agreed to put up and introduce his longtime friend, Angelo Jackson, to a federal informant to try to broker a cocaine deal. Lewis will also tell the judge that he never attempted to buy or sell or possess drugs, and the federal prosecutors will stipulate to that fact. So what happens next? There'll be a sentencing, and that sentence will come down soon, but it will not be served until after the NFL season. And then the NFL, the Ravens expect, will come down with some swift punishment, a fine, a suspension, or perhaps both. A little while ago, I caught up with Ravens head coach Brian Billick and asked him to assess the situation.
Well, you spend your entire summer in training camp, like every coach, talking about what happens when you lose the great player. We lost Jamal in 2001 for the entire season and went to the playoffs. We lost Ray Lewis for virtually the entire season in 2002. We've changed quarterbacks due to injury each of the last 3 years. So you have to create a mindset, and I'm not trying to trivialize what Jamal's dealing with right now, but as a team, we have to look at it as the same as if the trainer came in and said, John Blow or Joe Blow here has a pulled hamstring and is down for whatever determinate time it takes.
There's more pressing injury situation for the Ravens. Deion Sanders is a late scratch. He's had that hamstring problem. He did practice on Saturday, but I'm told he came out, tried to warm up, wouldn't go, so Brian Billick scratched him, which is a big deal for the Ravens because, as you know, the Chiefs like a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. However, Kelly Gregg, the nose tackle for the Ravens, who missed the last 2 games with a knee injury, will play. And I'm just told that Dante Hall will start for Eddie Kennison at wide receiver, Stu.
Sal, thank you much. We'll hear from you later in the show. We're just kicking off here in Countdown. Some people prefer to keep their thoughts to themselves. Some people believe in sharing. Ray Lewis, definitely the latter.
We dominate today. Get off the field.
Woo! If you ain't ready to play, dog, go home. Melt some Chiefs defense on a meat patty. You got yourself a nice Swiss burger. We'll break down the Chiefs D off the field before the Ravens do it on the field. Who took a stand, who took a seat, who rose to the occasion, who fell flat, the surprises, the letdowns, all the craziness from week 4. And you know, it's bad enough that Packer fans watched the Giants freeze out their Packers on the not yet frozen tundra. But Brett Favre took a black and blue beating. The latest on number 4 ahead. Big ups, much love to you, especially from Michael. Other top performers for the week. Curtis Martin passes Thurman Thomas on the all-time rushing list. Maybe the most understated running back of all time.
You are correct. Give him some props.
Got to give Curtis his props. Although you do look faster running in white cleats. Just what somebody said once. And other top performers, T.O. It's your boy, Michael.
Get your ego on, boy.
And now what? Come on.
Oh, Jimmy Crunch.
Tied Andre Reed, 87 career touchdown catches.
6 points. 6 for 6.
6 touchdowns, 6 crunches. Brett Favre has started an NFL record 212 straight games. Now, some folks say 193 because it's 193 straight regular season games, but as TJ says, what, playoff games don't count? So if a D lineman plays slam the ground with your head, when your coach asks you if you're okay, you started 212 straight games. You're going to say what Brett Favre said, yes, and go back in. He extended another streak to 29 straight games with a touchdown pass before a doctor said, Brett, got a concussion. Get out. Packers have that concussion quarterback and a whole lot of other problems. Here's Ed Werder.
The Packers aren't the only 1-3 team in the league, but they're probably the most relieved member of that group. The concussion symptoms that sideline Brett Favre have improved enough that he's expected to make his 194th consecutive regular season start next Monday night. Coach Mike Sherman also eliminated whatever problem disgruntled Mike McKenzie posed by trading the cornerback to the Saints.
The focus that's been put on that, everything that Mike did or didn't do was well documented and every day, and we don't have to deal with that anymore.
For both parties, I guess you can must move on, you know, like a separation of marriages, you know, but one of those ugly divorces.
In suffering their 3rd straight defeat Sunday, the Packer defense surrendered 245 rushing yards. Favre played the entire first half without crossing midfield, and Amon Green fumbled again. But the team's vulnerability is most apparent in its 0-2 record at Lambeau Field, where mystique has turned to myth.
We're down in the dumps right now. You know, it's a horrible feeling right now.
I know we have a lot of high-character men in this team, and if we start to now just walk around and with our heads down, we're going to end up 1-15.
Everything ailing the Packers has to be resolved by next Monday night when they play what is virtually an elimination game. In the last 4 years, there have been 5 NFL teams that have still made the playoffs after starting 1-3. But in the entire history of the league, only 8 teams have done so after starting 1-4. In Green Bay, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Ed, thanks for more on the Packers. We welcome in Chris Mortensen. Mort, when the secondary is struggling like it is in Green Bay, why were the Packers so eager to deal away their best cornerback in Mike McKenzie?
Well, I think you heard Mike Sherman allude to it. This was about team chemistry. This team was 1-0 without Mike McKenzie in the locker room, 0-3 with him in the locker room. And they're not blaming all their woes or losses on Mike McKenzie, but they have 2 impressionable top draft picks in Ahmad Carroll and Jason Horton, 1st and 3rd round defensive back picks, and they don't want Mike McKenzie souring them. Those guys already got in a fight last week. So bottom line is that get them out of the locker room. They got a quarterback in J.T. O'Sullivan from the Saints that they like, And so, therefore, this era with Mike McKenzie is finished.
All right, Moore, thanks a lot. We'll sit tight. We'll get back to you with more about Jamal Lewis's legal problems in a little bit. The Packers, they opened the season by whipping the defending NFC champions at the defending NFC champions' home.
Whooped them good.
Whooped them good.
Good.
And now they're 1-3 for the first time since 1993. What happened?
Well, I think a lot of it begins with interior rush defense. When you start thinking about this team, Grady Jackson was an outstanding defensive tackle. He was the beginning of their ability to stop the run. And you think about teams that go to the Super Bowl, whether it's Tony Siragusa and Sam Adams, whether it's Ted Washington from last year, these guys are the guys that key your defense. Now, if you don't have interior rush defense, you begin to bring people to the line of scrimmage in order to stop the run. You leave your corners out on an island. Now more points get scored, and before you know it, the guy that you really want to put the game on is not there to do it. So I think that this is one of those things going to be hard to fix during the course of the season. You're going to constantly be making defensive adjustments, but it also is going to have a trickle-down effect to your offense as well.
You know, Tommy, we're talking about dissension that we're hearing from Mort with the Green Bay Packers, and I believe that dissension started last season on the 4th and 26 play that the Philadelphia Eagles completed against Ed Donatell's defense, which knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. Ed Donatell got fired in the offseason from his bend and don't break style of defense, and Bob Slowick was brought in to organize that defense. He was a high percentage and still is blitz defensive coordinator. That blitz scheme was very effective week 1 against Carolina because they weren't prepared for it. But as teams began to see that Packer defense on tape, they could make the adjustments to that blitz scheme. And obviously, when you look at what Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning did against that blitz scheme, they nuked it. In the first half of that game against the blitz, Peyton Manning was 9 for 12, 182 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I really believe, you know, the blitz scheme should be just an element of your defense, not the foundation
of it. So you're saying they didn't like to bend but don't break. So they just said, let's just break everywhere. Let's just break. That's obviously what they're doing. Green Bay has to realize, and I think they have an identity crisis.
Their defense chokes you up, doesn't it?
Identity crisis. When I watch Indianapolis goes into every game knowing, hey, we got to win this game with the shootout. Via the shootout, our defense can't hold up. Green Bay, listen up. This is what you have to do, too, because you can't sit on a 7-point lead. Your defense won't allow it. You got to go every time you get the ball and go score points because 14, 21, not even 28 is enough points when you're putting that defense on the
domino effect. That's the domino effect.
And it takes Armand Green out of the game and put all the onus back on Brett Favre.
And all this talk about the Packers, what about the team that beat them? I thought the Giants coach was supposed to be way too tough. I thought he was supposed to be too hard on his players.
Somebody said he needed a soul.
He needed a soul.
I'll sacrifice a soul for the wins.
Giants finished last year 0-8. They're 3-1 right now.
It's all about discipline, Stu. They have it.
Something. Still ahead on Monday Night Countdown, we got a little something for you. The Chiefs' defense might not catch up with them, but the law already has. When will the Ravens find themselves without Jamal Lewis? The very latest on the plea deal and the drug case ahead. And about the only thing they have in common is the same first name and maybe a suit or two. Irvin versus Ditka and Ray Lewis's place in linebacking history. You won't want to miss that.
UPS.
I guess if a team can tie an NFL record with his 18th straight win, then by golly, Jaws can pick one of their drives and call up Morgan Freeman, make some water, and be driving Miss Daisy for a Sunday drive.
Driving Miss Daisy up at Ralph Wilson Stadium, and I tell you, the guy that I want driving the limo, Tom Brady. He was masterful with the score tied late in the third quarter, and Tom Brady, pre-snap, can read coverage. He sees the Buffalo Bills coming with the blitz. Now, he audibles to a running play, not a pass play. He finds the weakness of the defense, going to hand this football off to Corey Dillon with the safety coming up the middle, away from the blitzing safety. Dillon runs for 5 yards. Sets up the 3rd and 5 situation. He's going to see the blitz again. Now, because the blitz get one-on-one on the outside. Watch Brady right here, looking down the gun barrel. London Fletcher clean. Brady anticipates the throw, throws a little bit early, complete for the first down. Now, first down again, play action pass. Look at this throw to David Givens. 4 Buffalo Bills right around him. Let's look at this from Tom Brady's perspective. You're in the pocket. Look at this throw to Givens. That is accuracy, my friend. Putting it on the money. Hey, now the Patriots spread the field with their 3 wide receiver look. They're going to run the football because the Bills' corners are off. And look at the blocks to seal the right side of the Patriots offense. And Dillon goes for another first down. Outstanding play calling once again. Now, the Bills going for a win after an Adam Vinatieri field goal attempt. The Bills are offside. Hey, let's try to win this thing on 2nd and 2. Play action pass, sucks up the 2 Bills linebackers. Brady sets nicely, hits Daniel Graham in the back of the end zone behind the 2 linebackers who could not get their depth. And I'll tell you, I was at that game, and you watch Tom Brady handle this offense. He knows exactly what to do with the football. And if you get in a football game and you've got one opportunity to win the game and you want a quarterback under center, I'll take Tom Brady for my money, guys.
Anytime.
They can break the record next week.
They don't care. No. They don't care about the record.
They say they
Hold on.
They
Jones,
don't.
they care.
They don't
He
care.
said they could break the record.
They will break the record.
Oh, yeah, it's Miami. Oh, yeah, okay.
They just want to win.
They will break the record. 19 straight games. Chris Mortensen rejoins us now with more from around the NFL. Mort, let's start with Jamal Lewis. As Sal Paolantonio reported earlier in the show, Lewis will plead guilty in federal court on drug charges. What does this mean for Lewis's status on the field for the Ravens?
Well, as soon as he pleads guilty this Thursday, he is now in violation of NFL policy, and you'll probably see pretty prompt action from Commissioner Paul Tagliabue in suspending and/or fining Jamal Lewis. That suspension would be immediate, pending an appeal. But we've been told it's probably going to be on the low end. It could be 2 games, it could be 4 games. Probably not much more than that, because this offense happened when before Jamal Lewis became an official NFL player, before he signed his contract with the Ravens. So that's what we're looking at there. And I do understand, by the way, that Jamal Lewis, when his attorneys explained to him that you had a 70% chance of winning this case, but the 30% chance means your football career is over. So a 2 to 4 game suspension is nothing compared to that.
Again, that's a suspension from the league. As far as prison time, possible prison time, that will be decided by the courts, and that would happen after the season, correct?
That's correct. That's what the plea agreement appears to spell out.
All right, Mort, thank you. Let's move on to much less serious news down in the Beltway in D.C. Clinton Portis struggled again yesterday, just 52 yards on 20 carries in the loss to the Browns. And after the game, Portis seemed to take some shots at Joe Gibbs' offense.
We changing plays every week, but for teams to just continuously call us out and know where we're going before we get there, like I said, it's tough. Somehow, some way, they know everything we're doing. We got to find a way to change that. It's real frustrating because I know I don't play like this. I know this is not me. You know, anytime you go out and lose, I feel like I lost this game. I feel like I lost the Giants game. If you really want to believe, I feel like I lost the Cowboys game. So that's 3 games I done cost us, if you ask me.
Stand-up guy taking all the blame for the loss. Mort, how concerned are the Redskins about Portis?
Well, you know, I think they're just, it's a team and an offense that's just trying to get synchronized. And Joe Gibbs obviously is still trying to find his stride as he re-enters this league. I'm a little uncomfortable with a young running back second-guessing a Hall of Fame coach, but since he was so personally accountable for his fumbles and what have you, you understand the frustration. But there appears to be confusion on the sidelines again, and one reason why they may be predictable is that every time the play clock is running down to 1 second. So one thing we know, the defense knows that the ball is getting snapped at 0-1 or there's going to be a penalty flag. So I really think these are things that Joe Gibbs is trying to work out. And oh, by the way, a note on Portis. He averaged 5.5 carries for 2 years in Denver. Since his 64-yard run on the first carry of the season, he's under 3.5 yards this year.
Ouch. He needs to get back to that first carry of the season for him. Mort, we appreciate it. More later from you on dissension in the Big Easy. And we're not talking about Ernie L's Big Easy. Sal Paolantonio joins us now. Sal has it in his ESPN contract that he's got to be in TV a certain number of times. And he's from Philly. Sal is from Philly, so if we don't put him on TV a lot, he'll come break all of our legs. Sal, more airtime for you, dog.
Stu, I'm glad you got the memo. The Kansas City Chiefs, obviously the big story coming into this season was how would they respond to Gunther Cunningham's up-tempo style. Obviously, it hasn't worked out for the 0-3 start, but I talked to a number of coaches tonight on the sideline, and they say the team is beginning to respond to that up-tempo style, and they hope that the mistakes that has plagued them in the 0-3 start will not continue tonight, and it better not, They come into week 4 ranked 29th against the rush. Tonight they must face Jamal Lewis, fresh off a 186-yard performance, including a 75-yard touchdown run. Tonight they do get some good news, however. They get Vonnie Holiday back. He missed last week with a groin injury. Stu, he will start.
Sal, thanks for the knowledge. Still ahead on Monday Night Countdown. The Falcons may be 4-0, but it's not because of Michael Vick? What? Why the passing offense in Atlanta is sometimes non-existent and why it hasn't made a difference so far. And with the exception of the 2000 Ravens, you're basically only as good as your QB. What that same franchise needs to do 4 years later to help their current QB get them back to Super Sunday. Don't move. A, he's either never had one in his life, or B, he refused to get one until his team won 2 straight games. Take B. At noon local time in Houston, David Carr finally got a haircut. He said he wouldn't do it until the Texans did something they'd never done before.
You mean to tell me we're reporting this, man?
Wait. I must also report that his father, Roger, also said that he wouldn't get a haircut until the Texans won 2 straight games.
2 straight games. 2 straight games.
Yes. And we're
not 2 Super Bowls.
No. Two straight. It's the Texans, Michael.
You cut into my time to show that. I know.
All right, here is your time. Jaws time. It's 3 and out. Quick points and then get off the field. The topic today, teams with winning records, still question marks. Tommy, first down.
Well, I'm going with the Denver Broncos, and Coach Shanahan has proven to be one of the great play callers of all time. You know that he's not going to let Jake Plummer stay in the pocket. He's rolling him, bootlegging, waggle, going to the right, which is fairly easy, but also going to his left. You wonder how long that he can continue to do this. And you look at the stats yesterday, 13 of 31 for 138 yards. Won't have any new plays left at the end of the year.
Michael, second down.
And I'm taking Atlanta, the Falcons. And I hear you, Jaws, and everybody out there talking about how great this defense is. A lot of the same personnel that played last year when they got stood all day, every day. The difference is here, Michael Vick is playing. Now, Michael Vick, I'm telling you folks, I know we all think he's great. He's greater than we think. That's why this football team is 4-0. As Michael Vick leaves that football field, everybody might have...
All right, my team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, Stu. Ben Roethlisberger playing like a wily old veteran, but you wonder how long it'll be before the rookie quarterback can be exposed. He's thrown for 513 yards, 2 games, 4 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, an 86.2 quarterback rating. But what has helped him is the running of Deuce Staley, and Bill Cowher has gotten back to that smash-mouth football.
Some others, maybe. I mean, you could say there are questions about the 3-1 Colts. Maybe there are questions about their defense. You could say that.
No,
maybe.
No. You question their defense.
Questions about their defense, but their offense is so good.
That's right.
How about, it's going to sound crazy, how about can you question the Eagles? They're 4-0. What about their running game?
No, I'm not questioning them either.
No,
Brian Westbrook.
Can you question Kyle Bowler?
No. Yes.
Well, Kyle Bowler ready to do some damage. 3rd quarterback picked in the 2000 draft behind only a couple of Carson Palmer and Byron Leftwich. Jaws, break this man down.
Why wasn't he thrown?
Well, when you look at the Ravens on offense, you know, it's a very pedestrian approach. In fact, as I look at tape, they can be very boring at times. Many of their formations only have 1 wide receiver on the field. But, you know, that simple approach can help a young quarterback like Kyle Bowler. When the Ravens line up with 2 running backs and 2 tight ends, a predominant run formation, the trend among opposing teams has been to play a more aggressive 4-4 defense. With 8 defenders in the box, there's always a chance for a big play on the outside. Here, the Ravens are in 22 personnel. That's 2 backs and 2 tight ends. Only 1 wide receiver on the field. To counter the heavy run formation, the Bengals line up with 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers, a defense more equipped to stop the run. But the play call is pass, and with a single high safety in the middle of the field, the Ravens' best matchup is wide receiver Randy Himes against cornerback Torrey James. Quarterback Kyle Bowler delivers the ball on time, giving Himes a chance to run after the catch. Whenever there are 8 defenders in the box, breaking a few tackles in the secondary usually results in a big play. Here it results in a touchdown. From the end zone, focus on Bowler. The quickest way to determine coverage is by reading the linebackers. When Nate Webster runs with Chester Taylor swinging out of the backfield, Bowler knows it's man-to-man coverage. This is what I like to see out of any young quarterback. Bowler recognizes the coverage, stands firm in the pocket, and delivers the ball on time. He might have taken a big hit, but I'll be the first to tell you, it's not as bad when your team scored 6. Kyle Bowler's go-to receiver, Todd Heap, will not play tonight. So I think the Ravens will once again accentuate the running game. That means you'll probably see that 4-4 defense from the Kansas City Chiefs. And that means the safeties for the Chiefs must make plays in the running game, Tommy.
You know, I know you do the playbook, but I got to have a little fun here because this is a normal NFL playbook, and this is the sheet of plays that they have for Kyle Bowler. You can see it scale down a little bit, especially with Todd Heap out of the lineup. I think that, you know, this is a plan by the Ravens. This is the same plan that they took to win the Super Bowl. Play great defense with Ray Lewis and company. You come out, you run the ball with Jamal Lewis, and you convince the quarterback, and this is the most difficult sell, convince the quarterback that we don't want you to have to do much. This is going to be the engine that drives our machine right here, Jamal Lewis. If you turn the ball over, turn it over close to the other team's goal line, make them drive 80 or more, they're not going to be able to do it against RD. And if you will stick to that, this ball club will run away possibly with this division and certainly get close because defense, December, January is when you win games.
Hey, Tom, when I talk to people in the Baltimore Ravens organization, they think that Kyle Bowler's a pretty good quarterback.
That's not true.
That's not true.
He's a young guy.
Listen to him. He'll be fine. But I think they know they don't have any receivers.
Thank you.
Even if he could throw it, who will he throw it to? The best receiver they have, talking to my boy Neion, he says this guy's a great, good receiver. Randy Himes, number 8, and he used to be a quarterback. Randy Himes, number 8. He used to be a quarterback at Grambling. Has a few problems getting off the bump, but once he learned that, look for him to be a big-time receiver.
I thought Deion was going to say the best receiver they had was him.
He really is.
Typical Kyle Bowler numbers last week in Cincinnati, 11 of 18, 126 yards, touchdown. Hey, it works.
Michael Vick numbers.
The reason why you watch Monday Night Countdown is because there could always be some Monday night magic, like this particular Monday night memory.
It was a matchup between two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, John Elway and Joe Montana. With 1:29 left, Elway ran for a TD that gave the Broncos a 28-24 lead. But the 38-year-old Montana wasn't done, completing 7 passes during a majestic 75-yard drive.
Off for the touchdown by Dave.
Lord, you can take me now. I've seen it all. Montana threw 3 touchdowns and treated the Monday night crowd to one more dose of Montana magic.
Monday Night Memories are brought to you by IBM, the official information technology partner of the NFL and a worldwide leader in on-demand business.
Lots more ahead on Monday Night Countdown when the Pointer Sisters gave us He's So Shy. All right, don't laugh. One dude I promise you they were not singing about was Ravens star Ray Lewis.
Tonight is the night we ride through the camouflage Hummer with brothers inside. Here we come.
Reams of Ray unplugged ahead. Chiefs fans don't have much to toast so far this season, but that won't stop Dick Vermeil from engaging in a nice glass of vino with his own name on the label. A trip to the KC head coach's California vineyard ahead. Yo, you want a VIP pass to Michael Irvin's Playmakers Club? You better show up arm in arm with your A game. Who gets in and who gets turned away at the door, Michael decides ahead. This may be Monday night football, but these two guys can find daylight no matter what time it is. Priest Holmes versus Jamal Lewis. John Madden tells us where the similarities begin and end. And down the street from Michael Irvin's Playmakers Club stands a little old joint called Jack Up. Your bartender, Tom Jackson. And he ain't serving wine from Dick Vermeil's vineyard. He's pouring shots. Lots and lots of shots. Drinks on TJ, hard hits on TJ. Coming up.
ES. Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Let's holler at Chris Mortensen again.
Mort!
Hey! Hey! Falcons improved.
What's up?
What's up? I'm about to ask you. Be quiet so I can ask you a question. Falcons improved to 4-0 without Michael Vick dominating with his legs. Is this what we should expect from the Falcons offense all season?
Well, you know, I don't know if you expected all season. The Falcons are 4-0. That's progress with Vick maybe dominating one of those 4 games. And really, the Falcons want Michael Vick for all 16 games plus, because when he's on the field, their offense is better, their defense is better for a lot of different reasons we can't go into, but you guys know it. And here's the thing about Vick. They have about 3 designed running plays for him. They know he's going to take off on another 4 or 5. They want to limit it to that because they want to keep him healthy. And yesterday, he played a clean game. No interceptions, no sacks. The week before against Arizona, 5 sacks, an interception, and a fumble. And the bottom line is they're winning, and he will have his prime-time moments. We know that. But they're a happy team right now playing defense. By the way, a defense coached by Ed Donatel.
All right, Mort, the Saints are now 2 games behind the Falcons in the NFC South after their brutal loss to the Cardinals yesterday. Is this a team in danger of coming apart at the seams?
Well, it certainly felt like that on their flight home from Arizona when quarterback Aaron Brooks and defensive end Charles Grant, probably their 2 best players right now on each side of the football, got into a pretty serious verbal confrontation. It wasn't physical, but it definitely started with Aaron Brooks kind of criticizing the offense himself, and then Charles Grant jumped in on that, and Brooks ended up having to defend the offense, and they went at it pretty good. And then at the end of the flight, they got into it one more time, once again verbally, and then today at a team meeting, both men got up and apologized to the team, but that is obviously a frustrated team when you lose 38-10 to the Arizona Cardinals.
All right, we'll have more from you later about Carson Palmer and the struggles with the Bengals. Hey, guys, real quickly last week, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, for the first time ever, 2 quarterbacks throw for 350 yards or more, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Their hurry-up offense hurried up, which means we are about to hurry up with the hurry-up offense. Y'all ready? Quick. Who wins the AFC West?
Denver Broncos.
Denver.
Kansas City. No,
I'm shocked you'd say that. Who would you rather have, Jamal Lewis or Priest Holmes?
Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis. How's that?
All right, that works.
2,000 yards. I take it.
He's a big boy running downhill, and he's just fast.
Will Joe Gibbs lead the Redskins into the playoffs?
Not this year.
Not this year.
Not this year.
You know. Why did Emmitt Smith never throw a touchdown pass in Dallas, Michael?
Because he was greedy. Now he's figuring out, let me get rid of this ball because they hit me in the mouth. I'm a little older.
That's a called play. Coaches call that play. Coaches need to take...
We called it plenty of times. He never would let it go. He would never let it go. I called him on that same thing today.
Michael caught 87 touchdown passes. You would think Troy would have given one up.
Neither one came from Emmitt.
All right.
Who gave it to him? He kept it.
Who's going to win the World Series?
Yankees.
Why? Because that's easy.
I'll take the team that
Texas Rangers.
One out of every 4 they've ever played. I'll take that team.
Texas Rangers.
Should the Bengals switch back to John Kitna?
No. That is a plan. The Bengals started 0-3 last year. 0-3. He stuck with Kitna.
But they are calling for that young fella's head in Cincinnati.
And that's
wrong.
wrong.
It's wrong because they put him in a tough situation.
If you want to go 8-8, you go to Kitna. If you eventually want to win a Super Bowl, stay with Carson.
Thank you, Mr. Quarterback.
Sir.
I ain't thinking about you guys.
Count in my head. We got plenty more to come here on Monday night. Can you guys let me... Last week, Trent Green did not mean to do this, but he did. Why? We'll go on the field for a demo that dissects the play that epitomizes the Chiefs' season so far. And the Ravens' Ed Reed makes a living reading offenses. Tonight, he gives us a chance to read his mind. We'll watch some game film with one of the NFL's best ahead. And where are you from, Michael?
The U. I get it in, don't worry. Yes.
Yes. Sunday Night Football on ESPN this week, the Battle of the Beltway. Ray Lewis and the Ravens head to our nation's capital to face Clinton Portis and the Redskins. Ravens, Redskins, Sunday night, 8:30 Eastern and ESPN right after prime time. Open mic night here on Monday Night Countdown. All comedians stay home. Open mic, because we got Mike. Two guys just alike. Both of them were a star in their helmet when they played. Both of them played in the Super Bowl. Both of them got Super Bowl rings. Both of them caught touchdown passes in the Super Bowl. They're just alike, except for maybe a couple of minor, teensy-weensy little differences. We're going to start with Coach Mike Ditka. Ray Lewis, the best linebacker of our time. Now, you played with Butkus. You coached Singletary. Where does Ray fit all-time among the greatest linebackers ever?
Well, Ray Lewis is a very athletic person. He's a great linebacker. But I'll go back. I'll talk about, besides Singletary and Butkus, what about Bednarik? What about Huff? What about Lambert? What about Lanier? What about Nitschke? These guys were some of the greatest linebackers who ever played the game. I don't think there is a greatest or the best. I really don't. I think these guys are all good. Ray Lewis is all good. He could have played now. He could play 20 years from now. Could have played 40 years ago. That's the kind of football player he would have fit in. But is he the best? I wouldn't say he's the best of all time, no.
Well, the thing that usually separate the best when you talk about old players, because the old players, they were smart players. But Ray Lewis, he's smart also, and he has all the physical abilities that they have. He's smart, he's fast, he's strong. Yeah, if I choose, and if I start my team with any linebacker, I would choose Ray Lewis.
We'll throw it back on you. You got to start a defense. Middle linebacker, you got to pick one. Who do you pick?
Nick Butkus, because he would whip me if I didn't pick him.
All right, Terrell Owens, already more touchdown catches this year than all the Philadelphia Eagle wide receivers combined last year. Michael, does that give him the right to break off half a dozen sit-ups in the end zone after a touchdown?
I'm still confused on
and who am I asking?
Why do people have such a problem with what he did yesterday? You know, T.O., it's hard to get in the end zone, people, and everybody knows, hey, we're trying to throw the ball to T.O., and there's a little psychological gamesmanship going on there. You're trying to stop me. I'm trying to show you that you can't stop me, and when I impose my will on you, I'm going to break off 6 sit-ups just to show you how bad I am. I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, I'm old-fashioned. I mean, if I was coaching him, I'd say, hey, you don't need to do that. You're too good a football player. You don't have to call attention to yourself. I think somewhere it shows a lack of respect for the game. I'm not talking
enjoying
about
the game, coach, shows a lack of respect for the game.
No, for the game of football. Listen, I never seen Jerry Rice do it, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Jimmy Brown, Marcus Allen. I can go on and on and on and on. Emmett Smith. Never saw him do it either. And I never saw you do it.
I might not have broken off 6 sit-ups, but
wait. It's only because you didn't think about it.
I didn't think of it. The Sharpie and shit, I didn't think of it. I was mad that I didn't come up with that Sharpie thing. And if you got a problem with it, I see it over and over again. If you have a problem with it, stop this man from getting in the end zone.
What's going to happen the first time he comes over the middle and somebody smokes him real good, they're going to find the guy that smoked him because that's illegal. They'll call it helmet to helmet, helmet to chest, helmet to hip, helmet to ribs, whatever they want to call it.
They got to hit him legally.
Well, I'm just telling you one thing. Somebody's going to hit him legally.
Terrell Owens, 6 touchdown catches already. Last year, the entire regular season, he had 9. For Mike and Mike, I feel like I'm on a radio show. We'll see you. Kyle Boller warming up. He's got more interceptions and touchdown passes this season. Wants to reverse that trend on this night. That ain't right. Sal Palantonio has more. Ready? Ed Reed from where?
The U.
One of 14 players from the U, Ed Reed is, no, excuse me, one of 43 players from the University of Miami. Yeah, my bad. 35 games Ed Reed has played in his NFL career. Already, he's got 14 interceptions, including 2 this year, 4 block punts. He scored 4 touchdowns. It isn't all talent, though. It's a lot of hard work. We go into the film room with Ed Reed and our Inside Slant.
Beautiful night in Baltimore with some football. The time is now. Best safety in the NFL, man, right here.
The best safety in the league, that's what I said.
Let's talk how we talk during the week. Everybody watching? Everybody watching.
I love football. You know, that's why I try to make so many plays. I love touching the football. I think if I get the ball, I think I'm better than most receivers, honestly. I get the ball in my hand, I think I can score. You know, I used to play offense. I played quarterback in high school. Safety is like quarterback of the defense, just that we're playing without the ball. You know, there's a lot of stuff we have to analyze. What down is it? Where we at on the field? What time is it on the field? How did we get out here? Was it a turnover? Analyze the team we're playing against. What personnel group they got on the field. Know their tendencies. Process all that information all in one play.
single setback. Palmer drops to throw again. Under pressure again. Scrambling again. Throwing long again. Chad Johnson out there, but it's picked off by Ed Reed at the 8-yard line.
We was in the cover 3 here on the first pick. Pressure makes this play happen. You see, he's still reading the safety. He even looked me off. See, he was looking to throw here. But with that pressure came, that linebacker came, he saw this. And I just do what I'm paid to do. We'll be watching film all the way up until Monday night. I'll be watching it till I get dressed. The Chiefs motion and shift a lot. Their motion is basically deception. A lot of the shifts and motions are just to get you to think about something that's really, truly not there. Especially when you're a finesse team, you're not a real physical team, you motion and shift a lot. Take this shift, for instance. Right now, they're doing it out of regular personnel, which is 1 tight end, 2 receivers, 2 backs. They're going to shift a guy to the boundary, get you to think they're going to run to it, and then they motion Tony Gonzalez away. Most guys will still be thinking about the shift and forget totally about Tony Gonzalez, but they're going to him. Motions and shifts is just deception. This is the type of stuff you look for. Look at his split away from that tackle. They're not going to run the ball. Then they motion, what makes it even more obvious. And he's tilted, so he's going out. It's not complicated. Just like this play. They're motioning this guy to get you thinking, run him across. Most guys will still be thinking about the motion and forget about Tony Gonzalez. And all he's doing is running straight up the field and curling up. Watch. And nobody covering him. He's a guy you need to focus on in their offense. He's one of their go-to guys no matter where he's at. So you got to know where a guy like Tony Gonzalez, Dante Hall, where the guy's at all times. I got my eyes on Trent. I got my eyes on the whole field. You know, and most of all, I know where that pigskin goes at all times. I don't move unless it moves. So once they go in the air, they got to deal with 20.
Throw it deep downfield, and it's picked off by Ed Reed.
Don't throw it. Don't throw it. Don't throw it.
Ed Reed looking for Tony Gonzalez. The Houston Texans looking for Gonzalez last week. A Dick Vermeil club is 0-3 for the first time in his career. Could have been 1-2 were it not for a little itty-bitty mishap last week when the Chiefs were knocking on the Texans' door. And Trent Green looking for Gonzalez, and see what had happened. Marcus Coleman! Gonzalez had barely snapped his head around, and Marcus Coleman grabbed it, took it 102 yards right to the house. How did it work? Well, we're here at the Playmaking Made Easy field to make it easy to show you how it happened. Jaws, what happened in that play?
Well, Stu, when you get inside the 5-yard line, you work in a very constricted area. And that means it's paramount for the quarterback to see the throw.
Paramount?
You must see the lane of the ball. Yes, paramount. Very, very important. Of the ball going to the wide receiver. That Youngstown State education is paying off. All right. And Trent Green did not see the lane getting the ball to Tony Gonzalez. Let's show our viewers what should have happened on the play as opposed to what did happen to start off. But do you think he came out after the play fake? You're Gonzalez.
Good looking for the
play you are. All right. He comes off the play fake. Now, what happens, you see the lane right there. Hey, it looks like it's open. Now, Trent, the way he threw the ball showed me he believed that Tony Gonzalez was open on the play. He let the ball go.
But Marcus Coleman did what, Jaws? He baited Trent Green. In this business of bait is, it makes it look as if he's wide open. But as soon as you make that throw, I will jump in front of it and take it the other way, and that's what happened.
It was a flat throw.
Meaning what?
Right.
Meaning what?
It was baited, as Michael just said. That means a flat throw. He was able to undercut the throw and take it to the house.
Was like this.
Right.
Never got
on
up.
the line.
All right, so how could this same play work and be successful for Kansas City?
A very simple philosophical approach of this pass. Meet me at the corner.
At the pipe.
In other words, the ball meets you at the corner of the end zone, at the pylon, down the chimney, a high throw that chops straight down the chimney. Instead of flat, it's up and over. So now, after the play fake, Trent comes around. He's got to locate Marcus Coleman.
So Coleman's
undercutting.
there.
Coleman undercuts.
He's still doing the same thing he did.
Now, down the chimney, over the top. Touchdown. That's the throw that should have been made. Big body like Tony Gonzalez. He's going to go up and snag
Even
it.
if Coleman is baiting.
Even if he doesn't see Coleman, he still makes that throw.
Tell me this. You guys know better than I do. Who did Trent Green think they would be covering in this area of the football field?
I don't know.
One of
Not Tony Gonzalez.
One of the wideouts?
No, Tony Richardson. No, the same guy that Ed Reed's going to be looking for, Tony Gonzalez.
Gonzalez has caught at least one pass in 55 straight games. Ed Reed
From you.
Look at this. Shut him down.
Playmaking made easy. Brought to you by Staples. That was easy.
If you need the Lord, call a priest. The Chiefs need a win, so they will call a priest. The doors of the church are open.
Opening to Monday Night Football, and when you see the GMC truck, write down its license plate number. Then enter it at espn.com for your chance to win a trip to the ESPY Awards.
Playmakers is brought to you by Lee Dungarees, who reminds you, no matter what happens, don't flinch.
Dante Hall leads the league with a 14-yard average on his punt returns. Remember, he had 4 returned for touchdowns last season. Only thing prettier than Dante Hall returning a kick is Michael Irvin standing tall in his full splendor.
Yeah,
about
Stu.
to playmaker us.
That's right, Stu, and I love this part of the show. Why? Because I get to stand up and show you the whole suit, and I get to talk to you about my playmakers. Let's get this thing rolling. Number 5 on my playmaker list, Andre Johnson from the University of Miami, and I'm telling you, this guy yesterday, 6 grabs, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Andre Johnson is showing us the new stars in this league at wide receiver, him and Roy Williams making an impact right away. Number 4, Charles, you mentioned it earlier. If you had one game to win, you would take Tom Brady. Well, if you had 18 in a row to win, you would take Tom Brady. Oh, yeah. Congratulations on getting the record, Tom. 17 of 30 for 298 yards with 2 touchdowns. Next week, you will break it. It's only Miami. Anybody can break it against Miami. LT, guys, we have to feel sorry for this man. This is one of the greatest runners, could be one of the greatest runners to ever run and rush in this league. And he's playing for San Diego. I feel sorry for him. 17 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. LT, I wish things work out better for you. Now, number 2, Tiki Barber. You must love Tom Coughlin because he has you not coughing up the ball. 23 carries, 182 yards yesterday, 1 touchdown. Maybe being a little early, Tom, isn't a bad idea after all. No, my number 1 playmaker is my number 1 man. That's right, I will say it. Emmitt Smith, 127 yards rushing. He threw a touchdown. All of you guys that's calling my boys old on this, old on that. His 77th 100-yard rushing game, that ties Sweetness, Walter Payton. And yes, I hope I do this every week, folks. I bring you a new suit every week. Stu, back to you.
There really isn't much to say after that. Got to bring back in Chris Mortensen, who also has a suit on. Mort, the Bengals have not been making enough plays to be playmakers. They're 1-3 after yesterday's loss in Pittsburgh. How long will Cincinnati stay with Carson Palmer as their starting quarterback?
Well, I think the guys earlier on the set have pretty much hit it on the mark. The threshold for Marvin Lewis, I think, is Carson Palmer losing us games. Yesterday, he might have helped lose that game. And is the team being demoralized by Carson Palmer's performance? And the answer to that is a resounding no. Right now, those players believe in Carson Palmer. So here you go. Marvin Lewis clearly in the second year of a 3-year plan, and his jaws said, hey, if you want to go 8-8, yeah, go with John Kitna. You want to go to the Super Bowl, you got to get Carson Palmer ready. And Marvin Lewis looks at that division, and he sees the Steelers and the Ravens on top with Ben Roethlisberger and Kyle Bowler playing quarterback.
All right, Mort, another quarterback taken in last year's draft, Chris Sims, the lefty of the Bucs. With Tampa Bay now 0-4, is Phil Son about to become the Bucs starting quarterback?
It's on alert right now. John Gruden, the head coach of the Buccaneers, is going to talk to the quarterbacks on Tuesday. Today he was asked a pointed, direct question at his press conference in which they said, who is your starting quarterback this week? And Gruden said, I'm not committing to anybody. Now, he could mean anybody on the team, but the question was about the quarterback. They are 0-4, and certainly we are going to see Chris Sims on the field sometime this season. It may be this week against the New Orleans Saints.
All right, Mort, he looked very good in training camp. We appreciate the knowledge. Ridicule
if you want. Michael, he's getting a little old.
Mort, we're done with you. You're on to Dick Vermeil now. Hey, ridicule if you want to. But the true test of a man is not whether or not he won't cry, but rather is he secure enough with himself to cry. Perfect Vermeil's story. His former defensive coordinator, Greg Robinson, had the Chiefs' defense last in the league 2 years ago, 29th last year. The guy, he had to go. Now, the fact that Vermeil actually thought about it overnight says volumes. The fact that he stood next to Robinson during Robinson's resignation news conference says everything. And the fact that his outside interests are very diverse speaks even more. Andrea Kramer, backstage with Coach in the wine country.
Situated an hour north of San Francisco, Highway 29 is a long way from Kansas City. It's the gateway to wine country and the place to which Dick Vermeil heads home every summer. What's it mean to you to come back here?
Well, you know, I tell you, you know, in the kind of business we're in, that to me, maybe I never feel quite a peace of mind anyplace else until you get back here to where your roots are. I probably feel more comfortable and relaxed and feel, hey, this is where I belong at this time when I'm in the valley than any other place I've ever lived.
Dick Vermeil relaxed?
Oh, yeah, especially up here.
Vermeil was once known as the Calistoga Comet, after his hometown at the northernmost point of the Napa Valley. Calistoga's most famous exports are wine and its native sun. What's the purpose of walking these vineyards?
I think back to when, let's say I'm 13, 14 years old, and we would pick a bunch of these grapes, load them up in boxes, put them on the back of a flatbed truck, and take them to Grandfather Vermeil's house and start the winemaking process for the Vermeil wine for that year.
The Vermeil family has been making wine here since the late 1800s. An Italian immigrant named Garibaldi Iacari and a French immigrant named Jean-Louis Vermeil passed down a love of the grape to their great-grandson, Dick Vermeil. What role did wine play for you growing up in the Vermeil family life?
You look across the table, your sister and brother might have a little red ring on their lip from drinking their glass of red wine at dinner time. It became a great conversation piece with my dad because all my dad did was work 7 days a week in his old garage. Other than football, auto racing, and wine, we didn't have many conversations.
The desire to honor his heritage, not to mention please his palate, led Vermeil to pursue the hobby of winemaking.
I have a great interest in wine, and I always wanted to put the Vermeil name on a wine label because wine was a big part of our family.
In 1999, Vermeil became a partner in On the Edge Winery, along with members of the Frediani family, lifelong friends of the Vermeils. The Frediani vineyard, which was formerly owned and farmed by Vermeil's great-grandparents, provides the grapes for the Jean-Louis Vermeil Cabernet Sauvignon. Wines are made in the cellar of the home of Mary Sue Frediani and her husband, Paul Smith. In January of 2003, the first vintage was released.
It's good, high-end Cabernet, a lot of patience and hard work goes into producing it, but you'll enjoy it.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. It's better than pretty good.
Only you could coach grapes to be this good.
No, I can't coach grapes, but I can appreciate them. Gonna be good wine.
After his surprise resignation from the Rams, 4 days after winning the Super Bowl in 2000, Vermeil planned to spend much of his retirement in Calistoga, learning the intricacies of the wine business.
The degree of work involved here, you know, moving all these barrels and a lot of the physical labor. I think ultimately this was too much work for him, so he went back to coaching.
Just like there's strategy in football, how much strategy is involved in winemaking?
A lot. And you have to be lucky too. Everything, you know, the weather and the climate, the whole process, you know, you can fumble somewhere along the way if you don't know what you're doing.
From the vineyard to the winery, what do you think about to the glass?
I like it. It's going to be our best vintage, and I think one we'll be very proud of. Altresante.
Our Visa Skycam, the man, whether it's wine or firing up his troops, Jaws, known him for 30 years, said there is not a more loyal man in the NFL. Mentioned earlier how much we're digging our new crib here, our new studios, decked out features, flat screen plasmas, brand new field. One of the things, though, I really miss about being on the road is getting to stand next to John Madden when we talk, you know, getting that knowledge up close and personal, but that's why we rock satellite, so we can still connect and rap about two of the best running backs in the game on one field tonight.
Well, you know, Priest Holmes is shorter and quicker, and he uses his quickness, and he gets down low, and he makes a lot of cuts around the line of scrimmage. Jamal Lewis is just big. I mean, he weighs 245 pounds, and he runs with power. I mean, he takes normal strides, and then when he gets into the hole, he takes those short, choppy steps, and guys just bounce off him. Then when he gets past that second level, he opens up again. I mean, they're different type runners, but I'll tell you what, if I were starting a team, I'd take either one of them.
All right. Are the Patriots undefeated for the last 18 games? Are they a dynasty team, or are they just basically the best of a watered-down NFL right now?
You know, I think we have to define dynasty. If we say back in the day before free agency, a dynasty was the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers and the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys and at one time the Oakland Raiders. Those were dynasties because you could keep the same players year after year after year. And now you can't. Now we're in an era of free agency. So I think within that era of free agency, I think what the Patriots are doing is truly amazing. And I think within that definition, they are a dynasty, yes.
Don't look now, but the New York Football Giants, John, are 3-1. How much are they buying into the tough tactic, hardcore ways of Coach Tom Coughlin?
You know, now, isn't that interesting? When Tom Coughlin came in, they knew what the heck they were hiring, and the players knew what they were getting. And any coach, you have to be yourself. And then so they lose the game. And then they kind of make fun of them, and everyone jumps on the pile. You know, oh, they lost. You know, he fined a guy for being late when he was early and that whole thing. And isn't it funny how those guys that jumped on the pile when it was open are quietly peeling off now when they win 3 games?
Winning is a great equalizer. Dave Wanstead, he's being himself, but oh my goodness, down in Miami. I mean, Dave he switched quarterbacks and then switched back. He's lost 2 running backs for the season, 1 retirement, 1 injury. Is there anything else this man can do to get his Dolphins to win?
No, you know, we talked about this early in the season. He needs a running back. You know, that the Miami Dolphins were a lot like the Baltimore Ravens, a team that had a strong defense and a good running game. And those two things kind of go together. And you can win in the NFL with that. So then when Ricky Williams retires just before the season starts, then they're sitting there. They got the good defense and no running back. And really, I thought if they were going to have any success at all, they had to somehow replace him. They didn't, and success looks like it's a long way away.
How about prayer? Prayer.
You can always do that. In fact, I'd like to have you right here.
I'm throwing it out.
One.
John, we appreciate the knowledge, man. Hopefully I'll see you soon at some Monday night game. Standing there, not here, to be there where you are, there.
Okay, Stu, you got it, man.
We'll see you.
All Madden, brought to you by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service.
Ray Lewis, he's mic'd up and psyched up in a minute, but yo, just before tonight's game, giving you a taste.
Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Jamal Lewis has 305 yards rushing this year. He had 295 yards rushing in 1 game last year. You never know what he might do on this night. Sal Palantonio live in Baltimore with more. Sal?
Well, Stu, tonight for the Ravens, there are 2 main issues. One, of course, is their young quarterback, Kyle Boller. They know Jamal Lewis is going to play hard. They know that Ray Lewis in the defense is going to come to the party. But what about their young quarterback? Well, he has put the back-to-back games without an interception for the first time in his career, but he's never played on Monday night before. The other issue, the Kansas City Chiefs. They absolutely need a win tonight. And I asked Brian Billick, how do you go against a team that is desperate for a win? And he said, we have to match their passion and intensity, born of desperation. He said, it wasn't much of a sell. My guys know what they're up against tonight. Stu?
Thanks a lot, Sal. Dante Hall averages an NFL record 79 yards per every touchdown he scores in his career. Priest Holmes scored an NFL record 27 touchdowns in one season. They got weapons, but play Dick Vermeil for me. Be the coach. How can you get this team to win now?
Well, you mentioned it starts with Dante Hall. You look at last season about this time, we were talking about Dante Hall being the league MVP. He personally himself beat the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens with kick returns like this. And when you look at this game, it's got to be a Dante Hall game. Not necessarily return balls for touchdowns, but win the field position game. Force the other team to kick balls out of bounds. The things that Dante Hall was doing last year just aren't happening this year.
Offensively, this team was the most prolific offense in football last year. You got to get more out of your wide receivers. You look at the Bronco game, big game for this team. They come in with a $50 million cornerback, Champ Bailey. They stick him on Tony Gonzalez, the tight end. So when you think about it, it's got to be more of Johnny Morton. It's got to be more of Dante Hall. When Eddie Kennison gets healthy again, it's got to be more of him. You've got to get more out of the wide receivers in this offense, period.
In my tape, you already showed my tape earlier when we watched the Monday Night Memory, we saw Joe Moe. If you can clone Joe Moe and put him back there tonight, I don't care what you do. Joe Moe, get Trey Green out of there, because even when the receivers get open tonight, I don't know if Trent Green can find them. Trent Green, he has to have a perfect game. He has to have a perfect game.
No, he does.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. This team, he needs them to have a perfect game in order for them to win.
What about the defense, guys? Their last 11 games, including the playoffs, they've given up an average of 172 yards.
That's why we didn't mention it.
Well, yeah, but that was a given that we just.
That's why we didn't mention it.
You said, how could we fix it?
Oh, okay.
Right.
I guess you can't fix that.
We know what's broken.
And you can't fix my record or TJ's record or Michael's record in the lead pipe.
Who's smart?
Although Jaws, TJ, and I all won last week because Mike picked against his Cowboys and lost. Jaws now, why do I look so sad? And look at Tommy look mad. Jaws, you have the lead pipe, so you get the first pick tonight.
This is why I do Monday night. I just want to hold the lead pipe. And, of course, I'm holding the Kansas City Chiefs.
You just dropped it, though. So what does that mean?
Just like they dropped
It was the black and blueprint last year, but last week, but it's the Super Bowl blueprint tonight. I'm going with the Chiefs.
I will have it next week. The Ravens will win. You would not win in Ray's house. Not his Sugars.
Yeah. Just too many humps to get over here. I'm taking the Ravens as well.
They give up 172 yards rushing a game. That means Jamal Lewis.
If he gets 30 carries,
172 yards.
270.
I'm going with the Ravens.
30 carries.
Going with the Ravens.
He's going to fall way behind now, guys.
Oh, talking some junk. All right, Priest Holmes trying to do some damage, trying to do some work for the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. He needs to hop on the bus to get near that 27 touchdown mark. There he is, getting ready to do something. Can he get it done on the road? Not just another Manic Monday when Ray Lewis is involved. Unplugged, uncensored, and unbelievable. Make way for the microphone fiend. Sugar Shack. Yo, man, can't you just give him a pep talk? And from a slap in the face to the best smash mouth smackdowns jacked up coming.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? And in part by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Jacked Up. Brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Sunday Night Football on ESPN this week, the Battle of the Beltway. Ray and the Ravens against Portis, Clinton, and the Redskins. Ravens and Redskins, Sunday night, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, right after NFL prime time. Hey, y'all, Ray Lewis might be the best player in the NFL, and we know he is the best leader in the NFL. Sounds and fury signifying a whole lot of great defense. You will not want to miss this right now. The best of Ray Lewis, mic'd up in tonight's soundtracks. Listen and feel it.
Let's see what we made of.
We taking it back today. No, we taking it back today. You feel me? You shoot the gaps, I clean them up. That's how simple it was, remember? I'm gonna find out if Clint Porter's as good as they say he is. D, I'm gonna find out if Clint Porter's as good as they say he is. I'm gonna find out today. Defense wins championships. Defense. This team shouldn't score. This team should not score. With what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go, we dominate today. Togetherness, unity, not caring about nothing else but get to the football. That's what real linebackers do because we got each other. Run to the football today. What time is it? Game time! Time is it? Game time! Let's go to the house! Let's go to the house! Hey, they can't let them hide from me tonight. They got to see me. They got to see me. Don't get nervous because I'm here now. Paco, I'm going to knock him out now. I'm going to catch him in a minute. Get off the field. Get off the field. Get off the field. I told you I'm coming. Come on. Tonight is the night we ride through the camouflage Hummer with brothers inside. Here we come.
If you make him cut back, you just stay front side because I'm right back behind you. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Now, come on. Come on. I got faith, too much faith in you. I got love for you, all right? I love you to death. You're going to be with me a long time. Let's go.
Come here for a minute. Come here. Listen. Listen. It doesn't matter what they do. Do y'all understand that? These people cannot score on us. They cannot score on us. They can't even move the ball. You know why? Because we got each other. Put the smiles on your faces. This is a 60-minute ball game. It's going to be football now. It's the fourth quarter. It's going to be football now. It's over. It's over. We got the lead. Let's dominate them. Let's do it. Right now, we need a 3 and out. All right? So let's go hunt. Fourth down! Fourth down! Y'all going to play football in a minute. It's time for my pick now. It's that time game. It's that time of the game. I got to go get it.
Now deep drop, plenty of time. Throws, Ray Lewis intercepts, 50, 45, right at the 40, cuts back in, gets a block, 30s, 25. He's all the way down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
That's what I'm talking about.
What you see right there?
What, the hair standing up?
Goosebumps right there. Real
help
goosebumps. And if that ain't the perfect segue to Jacked Up, I don't know what is.
I swear, we're talking about hitting. You're watching Ray Lewis. We're going to get to some hits. And the first one, number 5, is a little bit of an odd hit. We're going to go to the Colts and the Jaguars pregame. It's John Henderson of the Jags versus his trainer. What? Oh! Boy, John Henderson got jacked up. We got number 4, the Bengals and the Steelers. Rudy Johnson take the handoff. Chris Holt got Rudy Johnson, even though his helmet is the one that came off. Rudy Johnson got jacked up. Number 3, the Broncos versus the Bucks. Jake Plummer to Jeb Poutier. And Poutier hit by, he's French, Mike Smith. And right there, Jeb Poutier got jacked up. And Aaron Brooks on the move. Aaron Brooks on the move going toward the end zone, hit by James Darling. And oh, my darling.
Lord.
Oh, my darling.
He crumpled him.
Oh, my darling, one more time for Aaron Brooks. You can see he got jacked up. And number 1, boy, Jake, you got to quit stringing them out. Jake on the leg. Reuben Drones coming across. And that's Jermaine Phillips with the hits. And the guys don't see this coming. Hear it again. Reuben Drones. Reuben Drones one more time. Reuben Drones one more time. Jermaine Phillips happy. And Reuben Drones jacked up.
I just got a question. If you play for the Baltimore Ravens and you are not ready to play a game with that man on your team.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Does that mean you go in there and get slapped by the guy?
That's right.
To get ready?
That doesn't happen.
No, that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen either.
Ray's pretty special. He gets him ready to play.
Special player, special leader. Hey, you can see Ray Lewis, you can see the Ravens, and you can see Jaws' Kansas City Chiefs on ABC at 9 p.m. right after us. Or you can leave here on ESPN.